What's up, Scrappy peeps? It's Adele from Inkie Quill. How many of you say the intro along with me? I hope someone out there says it. In my head, I imagine people saying it with me, because when I listen to people's videos who do the same intro all the time, I say it with them, and I don't know, it just makes me feel really happy, the thought of people out there saying it along with me. Anyway, into the video, Adele. I'm in a rambly mood, so be prepared, peeps. I do warn you ahead of time. I am doing this layout. Now, this layout took under 20 minutes. It was a real quick and easy one to do, but the trick is the stenciling. The stenciling looks like you've gone to a lot of effort, but it didn't take very long to do. So I've got these 4 little photos of Archie, and they were taken in the bath when he was just being a bit of a goofball and just being a bit of a silly Billy, and I loved capturing all of his different emotions. Now, I'm putting a lot of tape on that paper because I knew I was going to do some sort of mixed media on top. What that was, I do not know, but at this point I didn't know. I do know now because it's done, of course. But I did a little doodly border now, and I'm glad I did it first. Usually the doodly border comes last because it's a bit of an afterthought, but I decided to do it first, and I decided to do it around this inner paper, which I think gives it a little bit of interest rather than going around the outside. I've got this stencil, which is one of the first stencils I ever got, and I have no idea what the company is, I'm sorry, but it's got all different shaped circles. There's lots and lots of similar circle stencils available out there, and I'm just using some white paint and a makeup sponge, and I'm just splodging it through my stencil. I have a lot of questions about stenciling, and my trick is to not use too much paint. So you can see I'm dabbing it off on the side there, and it really helps out. I'm trying to make my stenciling not look so blocky, I think is the best way to put it, because of course when you're using a rectangular shape, square shaped stencil, the edges are going to be very severe, I guess you could say, but I wanted it to be a bit more fluid. So afterwards, you can see here I've lifted it up and I'm kind of just splodging a few more circles so that it looks a little more, I cringe when I use this word, but a little more organic. I can't stand the word organic when it comes to explaining creative things. It's just one of those words. It's like how people feel with the word moist. I feel it with the word organic, not food wise, but creative wise. I can't do it. Anyway, back to, I told you peeps, it's going to be a bit of a tangenty one today. I hope you are enjoying your January. I'm pretty sure this video is for January. I'm trying to get a little bit ahead so that I can have a break over Chrissy. And I hope you're enjoying January. Let me know in the comments what the weather is like in your neck of the woods at the moment. I guarantee that we are having some boiling hot 40+ degree days, which is really nice. That's Celsius, not Fahrenheit. That's usually our January is my most hated month of the year, I think. Let me know in the comments what's your favourite and your least favourite months of the year. January is my least favourite just because of the heat. I hate the heat, and my favourite would either be March because it's the start of autumn and things start to get a bit cooler and cozier, but it's still often quite hot, like sometimes it's in the high 20s, like 28, 29, but March would be my favourite, I think. So while I've been rambling about a topic that has nothing to do, I'm sorry, with this scrapbook page, I cut out my photos into 2 strips. I've been really enjoying the look of photo strips lately, just looking at them. I've been drooling over some like journal spreads, not scrapbook pages, but journal spreads where people just stick in a little strip of a photo strip that's taken at a photo booth machine, and so I kind of wanted to replicate that vibe. So I wanted to matte them because the colors of these photos, except obviously for the black and white one, which is black and white, the colors are quite warm and kind of a little bit brownish, beigeish, and I thought without that white border they'd blend in to the background a little bit too much, but the white makes it pop. And I also overlapped it over the edge of the wood paper you can see on the right side, and I really like how that turned out. I know that sounds silly, but that's probably one of my favorite parts of this layout, and I think it just makes it look a little bit more collaged, and with that vibe that I was going for, with like the, you know, just sticking a photo strip into my journal and writing about it, it just kind of gives it that more haphazard kind of feel. So then I wanted to go along with these warm tones and use lots of warm colors. So I've got these cork and glitter hearts, which are from an older collection a few years ago, because I used them in the wedding album. I have no idea where they're from, and they're probably not available anymore, but a lovely subscriber sent some to me, which was very beautiful of them, and I have been hoarding them a little bit, and I'm trying to use them. I'm trying to gain the courage to use them and not worry when there's none left. I'm trying really hard. So then I've got this title, and it just says sweet, and I was going to add something to it, like sweet little you or sweet bath, I don't know, something else to the sweet, but I couldn't really think of anything. Obviously sweet bath wasn't a contender, so I couldn't really think of anything, so I ended up just going with sweet, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with a one-word title. Are you a title person, or are you a non-title person? I feel like I need titles. I like titles, so I put a title, but you don't need titles, which is fine. And that's what I really love about scrapbooking, I think, as opposed to some other hobbies where there's a definite right way. Like, for example, this is a bad example, but archery. So to do archery as a hobby, you're meant to hit the bullseye. That's the aim. But with scrapbooking, it's a lot more broad, and so what one person does on a page might be completely different to another person, as long as they're using some paper and chuck in a photo or some sort of focal point, then you're scrapbooking. So I really like the flexibility and the broad nature of this hobby. I also would really suck at archery, and so I'm glad that I don't partake in that as a hobby. Back on track with the layout, and I'm adding a few little hearts. I realized that I added those two puffy phrases down the bottom there, the bluey greeny ones, and then I realized I had no other bluey greeny things on the entire page, and they kind of looked like they didn't belong. So then I went back and I had a couple of sheets of little tiny hearts that I add in a moment. I also had these that a beautiful subscriber sent me, and I've had them sitting on my desk just waiting. I was waiting until I had used up a couple of sticker sheets to reward myself with a brand new sticker sheet of tiny words. I was really excited to use these. I actually kind of did a little I was listening to the vocals. What you don't realize is when I'm actually making these layouts, there's either a few things going on. I'm either binge watching Real Housewives of probably Orange County and going, oh, ooh, or making some sort of noise with their cat fights. I'm also singing or rapping to some gangster rap from the 2000s kind of era, a little bit of Lil Wayne, 50 Cent, Nelly, that type of thing. Or I often just talk to myself, and I had a really big conversation saying how excited I was to use those tiny word stickers. So to the person that sent them to me, thank you for bringing me a little bit of joy. As embarrassing as it was, I didn't leave it in the actual audio for this video, but I'm instead embarrassing myself by telling you all about it instead. The layout's done. We got through it, and I didn't ramble, hopefully, too much. I hope you enjoyed this page. It was so fun and easy to put together, and I really loved the warm tones of it. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye!